products are unregulated and could be highly volatile. Please be aware of the risks before investing.
राज, बाबूजी के आशीर्वाद से हमने अपनी नई शुरुआत तो कर ली, पर अपना फ्यूचर प्लान कैसे करें?
बड़े बड़े शहरों में ऐसी छोटी छोटी बातें होती रहती हैं।
Looking for perfect start? Get a Bitcoin today. Download the Unocoin app.
जब मैं तेरी उम्र का था ना, तो एक सक्सेसफुल करियर, लॉन्ग टर्म प्लानिंग सब रेडी करके रख चुका था। और एक इन महाराज को देखो, पूरा दिन फोन में लगा रहेगा।
दैट प्लानिंग तो मैंने भी कर रखी है Unocoin के साथ।
नए जमाने के साथ नई चीजें आजमाएं। Looking for Bitcoin? Download the Unocoin app.
Guys, we really need to work hard. This wasn't a good quarter. Tell me, are you happy with this?
Yes! Unocoin.
Want to earn Bitcoin? Just grab your phone and shake it. Download the Unocoin app.
Bitcoin.
Get a systematic buying plan from the Unocoin app to get your Bitcoin today. Download the Unocoin app.
नमस्ते डियर Unocoiners, एक बार फिर से आप सबका स्वागत है इन अनदर वन ऑफ आवर लाइव Q&A सेशंस। तो आज का जो हमारा टॉपिक है, जैसा कि आप ऑलरेडी अपनी स्क्रीन्स पर देख सकते हैं, वो है P2P स्कैम्स के बारे में, यानी कि पीयर टू पीयर स्कैम्स के बारे में। अब इसके बारे में आपको हमने पिछले एमए में एक छोटा सा हिंट जरूर दिया था, लेकिन ये इतना बड़ा इशू है कि इसको हमें डिटेल में समझना बहुत जरूरी है। तो यू नो द ड्रिल। अगर आपको इससे रिलेटेड कोई भी सवाल हो तो कमेंट सेक्शंस खुले हैं, आप अपने क्वेश्चंस को कमेंट सेक्शंस में ड्रॉप कर सकते हैं। एंड जैसा कि आपको पता है, हर एमए को डिस्कस करने के लिए हमारे पास एक सब्जेक्ट मैटर एक्सपर्ट होते हैं, जो कि आपको अपनी एक्सपर्टीज से एनलाइटन करते हैं। टुडे वी हैव वन ऑफ योर मोस्ट फेवरेट स्पीकर्स ऑन बोर्ड, Mr. Sathvik Vishwanath, the CEO and the co-founder of Unocoin, your favorite crypto exchange. So, how are you doing today, Sathvik?
I'm good, Shambhavi. How are you doing?
I'm great, and it's interesting, because people are coming across these scams very often nowadays, and to hear from you about that and getting a clarity is some sort of assurance that they can hang on to. So, to start with the very basics. what is P2P or peer-to-peer trading?
Yeah, you introduced me as subject matter expert. I might be when it comes to crypto, but definitely not with peer-to-peer scams. I can only tell what I have heard, where or whatever are the new trends that I just got to know and such. So when it comes to these kind of scams, what I tell today probably may be outdated in just 15 days, because there is always new methods that the scamsters will keep looking. And as more and more people become cautious, if there are less people who are baiting that bait, the procedures change, right? So it's this is something extremely tough to know. One thing I can tell you is trust your instincts. If you think something is fishy, just walk out. That's one thing. So first we have to see what is a trade that is happening through P2P. What does it mean? It just means that the money is usually being sent from one person to one person directly, but not through the platform. And these platforms usually act like an escrow. Okay, so who exactly is paying the money? The receiver mostly don't even know. Okay, and because this transaction is crypto in nature most of times, it's actually a little tough to sustain the argument about why exactly the payment itself happened. If shit hits the fan, it's tough, right? So it's then you will have to go back like, wow, the platform works and what is it, because this is not something that has crypto is not something like old enough where everyone knows. And when we're talking about these kinds of peer-to-peer transactions, only people who involved in it actually are aware. A lot of them don't even know.
Exactly.
Okay. So when we start talking about peer-to-peer scams, there is again not one type, right? So as long as two people directly get involved and the transactions happen between them, because there is a platform in between, those are all like peer-to-peer. Okay. So for the examples include portals like Magic Bricks, where the seller meets the buyer directly. Then it has OLX, where again, like someone want to sell and the buyer comes to them directly. So those things, the platform is just a facilitator of making the two people meet. They are not directly involving in the actual transaction. They may be charging a transaction fees or introduction fee for those people to meet each other, make them aware of the contact details, etc. Okay, so when these kinds of things happen, and when they get conned of the money that being spent, we can actually term it as a P2P scam.
Exactly. So, what is the procedure of this peer-to-peer trading? First of all, like, do we not at all know this other person who's on the other side, and how is this like? What is this transaction? What are we sending? What are we getting back?
If I have to talk about peer-to-peer transactions happening on the crypto platforms, then usually it follows one trend. So one is the trend is a seller would usually go and place a order that he want to sell X amount of crypto for Y amount of price, and if there are any buyers, then they would show the interest in that. And when that happens, the platform actually works as an escrow where the locks X amount of crypto, whatever it is worth. And once the transfer of Indian rupees happens from the buyer account to the seller account, and after the seller confirms that the money is received, he would again log into the portal, and he would hit a button saying money is received, kind of thing, and that locked crypto would get disbursed to the buyer's account. So this is like the peer-to-peer method of like how the normally it happens on the crypto platforms. And this is also true when it is the other way around, where sometimes buyer will initially have the interest. He would have expressed his interest, and there may be a seller who want to match that, which again will happen the similar way. But the platform always acts as an escrow for that kind of money.
And You know, lately we have been coming across a lot of cases where the person doesn't even know that they're somehow involved in this. But the major repercussion of being involved in a P2P trading, like if you are interacting by any chance with any person who's by any chance, you know, involved in any illicit activity, their accounts is also getting frozen even though they're not involved in the trading.
Yeah, this is actually a sad part of the things, right? So the case could be as simple as so there is a buyer and there is a seller who happen to meet on a peer-to-peer crypto platform, and money was transferred from the buyer to seller. Okay, and the crypto was released as well. So now what the seller would do, he will use that money to maybe pay his rent or pay to some whatever other next set of transactions. And let's say he used all of that money and there is not enough money in the bank account, which was equivalent of this particular transaction. Okay. So and it's possible that this particular buyer, the buyer of the initial transactions, goes and gives a complaint that my bank account was hacked. Someone has used it to take away the money and such. So, and he don't even talk about using crypto platform and such. The complaint will be as simple as it was hacked and it was stolen. Is all it is, right? So then they will first see which account this particular money has gone, and if there is enough money in the account where they can block that money, like debit freeze and such, or if the money has gone to some other accounts, they'll try to recover using that, thinking that they are all of them belong to the same scam. Where the money was stolen and it was getting distributed and such. So this can go up to 2 or 3 or 4 transactions also, right? I mean, 4 next links also. So those people don't even know what this guy got and how the money has come to them. So they are just doing normal transactions, like normal life. All of a sudden, the bank account gets frozen because some money which was involved in P2P has come into their account. And obviously, that is not because of crypto transaction, but it could be like a rent or a grocery or whatever, right? So yeah, and people who actually are not even thinking that they don't even know about crypto, get involved in P2P crypto scams sometimes.
And you know, it's very, very, very problematic how, even without knowing, you could be a part of something, and then to sort that out, you have to spend another, you know, good amount of money for the lawyer fees, for maybe if the case is in some other city or
Some
state.
other state,
Yeah,
it could
you
be.
have to travel all the way there to clarify the whole thing, and the expenses involved in the whole thing.
Expenses,
Loss
time,
loss of your, you know, daily
peace.
routine, peace as well, of course. Yeah, that is one of the major things. So it's very problematic. But you know, Satvik, there are so many aspects involved with it. What are the common signs, like, you know, how would you know that you are maybe becoming a part of a scam?
See, when it comes to the peer-to-peer trading on crypto platforms itself, there is usually one particular procedure. Uh, and where the money is coming and where the money is going is different. Identifying the scams there is even more tougher, I would say, because all they look for is okay, the money has come, and if the money has come, then release the crypto and such, and then again the buyer will go out and create the complaint. So, and because here the exchange bank account itself is not involved, lot of times people who actually have money because of some other fraudulent activity, maybe using that money to buy crypto on a peer-to-peer platform, because you are not sending it to an exchange. Instead, you are sending it to one random person who may not even be aware of what rights they have, how to even go and create a complaint with anyone, etc. And on the other side, 90% of the people, once if something goes wrong, don't even want to tell that they underwent the scam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so
it's
they, yeah,
embarrassing for people.
it's not even that. The moment you say, okay, like someone scammed, what is the first thing you ask? You want to know, like, what were you trying to do?
Yeah.
Who is in contact with you? What are the messages they sent? What you were replying? What went wrong? What went wrong when? Right? So, and lot of times that this is something that the victims don't want to share, because now scam is over anyway,
Scam
right?
is over, the
So
money is gone.
yeah, so So the targeting these kinds of individuals to get into this is more easier than involving any kind of corporates like maybe an Indian crypto exchange, because they don't let go of anything so easily. They have their procedures in place and they have their compliance etc. in place, and they have the KYC of the person, and they would have already checked whether the bank account belonged to the same person or not. So they would have done a lot of checks, including maybe OTP based verification of mobile number and link verification of the email ID, and they could have even cross checked the PAN card with maybe government databases, etc. And they would have again verified the Aadhaar card with OTP, etc. So they would have done so much of things. It's too tough for someone to actually, do any kind of scam and get away.
Exactly.
Okay, so but individuals, it's not. It's like 90% success rate. Okay, so when that is the case, it's easy for the scamsters to target these kinds of individuals through peer-to-peer trading platforms. Okay, so and now where the money has come from, it's tough for the buyer to check the source of the funds. Let's say I am on one exchange called abc.com and you are also on it, and if you are buying crypto on it, which I have put for selling, right, you will not I mean, if you are the buyer, then I cannot really ask you for what is your source of funds. Is it like a stolen fund? Is it your pocket money? Is it your salary or whatnot? So as long as I'm getting it to the bank account of me, my job is to release it. If I ask questions, then you start feeling like, why are you kind of, don't you respect my privacy?
Yeah.
So why do you care about how I earn, where I got the money from? It's the money in the bank account, you take it, kind of thing, right? So it's tough. But it's not only these kinds of scams, but there are a lot of other, again, peer-to-peer crypto scams that happens. That starts from as simple as one person saying, I want to sell Amazon vouchers for 5% discount, 20% discount. Okay. And there are people who go there and they usually do the payment in crypto. And to do the payment in crypto, there is a very good chance that the person don't even have crypto, don't even know crypto. Okay, so when that happens, the seller will guide one step at a time. Go to this website. So now they will take the photo, show it, enter these details, use your OTP, then one step at a time. Okay, when after now deposit how much you want, 10,000 rupees. Okay, now only deposit 9,950 or 9,500, depending upon the discount, right? And then buy crypto with this and send it to this address. And after it is sent, it's gone. So now it's again different peer-to-peer.
Yeah.
Right? So now the real Indian rupees did not go from buyer to seller. Okay. And seller is not even a seller. He's not selling anything. He's just there for scamming, right? And this could also happen on for flight charges booking, hotel booking, etc. And there is a lot of things where people don't want to use their own credit cards on the internet, right? So for those kinds of things, I'll sell you the coupon code. You get discount there, here, and whatnot. So people will think that okay, this is genuine because they have a website, and sometimes when you say okay, give me the payment link, I only pay through bank account. They'll say that actually bank account charges are 3% extra, but if you pay in crypto, it is no extra. Then people choose crypto because they want to save the 3%. They don't bother about the remaining 100%.
Yes.
Okay, so they want to save that money and they'll try to do that. And again, the complete scam. They get scammed after the payment is done. They won't even reply.
I think it's very interesting how these things happen, because in India specifically, Sathvik, as we both know, people are so jugadu. Okay, they'll do anything to save even like if on a 99 rupee thing they can save like 2 more rupees, they'll make their efforts to do that. And I feel like sometimes another reason why peer-to-peer scams are rising in number is because people are trying to avoid the 1% TDS that has to be filed at the end of the month.
That's
With
another thing.
exchanges, it's automatically deducted, but with peer-to-peer, you as a person have to do it. So people tend to omit that. Not omit, but try to
No,
erase it.
they see here the exchanges will do it anyway.
Yes.
So there is no exception for it. But if it between individuals, they'll think that why can't I say that I got this as salary, I got this as something else, I got this to help someone to buy some tickets. So they think that there'll be if that day comes where they think that why you didn't pay TDS, 1% TDS, they'll be able to sustain is what they think. And they think that okay, I will be able to get away because it's not coming for an exchange anyway. So it is from any other person, and that is how 99.9% of transactions in India happen, 1% to 1%. So this is also one of it. I don't need to tell it is because of crypto.
Exactly.
So they'll think that they'll be able to get away.
Interesting how say we have like $100 that we are using to transact in this peer-to-peer trading. Now to save 1% TDS over there, that would be like $1, some 80 rupees, 82 rupees. To save that, if you are willing to risk your whole thing with P2P trading and then ending up losing a lot of money, having your bank account frozen and going through all the procedures, I don't think it's worth it. And besides, Sathvik, we often get these questions very often. How the whole decentralized system was put in place, but then exchanges came into the picture. Then the government started imposing KYC stuff and everything. They came up with rules, basically regulatory compliance and everything. Different governments, not just India. And it's like, okay, this was not supposed to be centralized, but now that if there is KYC happening with exchanges, you actually have a real chance at getting your money back if a scam is happening, which is, by the way, negligible if it is through an exchange. But with these peer-to-peer, there's no KYC mandatory, there are no documents. So how do you even find this person? It could be some third parties.
They will not know. That person may or may not even exist.
Yeah.
See, when it comes to, I still don't think these exchanges are removing the decentralization aspect. No, that is not true.
Agreed.
The role of exchanges is to create the bridge for an individual to go from centralized finance methodology to decentralized and vice versa. That's how it is, right? And for that, if the exchanges doesn't exist, then all that happens is scams everywhere. Okay, and now that the exchanges are there, yes, you at least know there is one trusted entity and company where you can go send your money. Know that after the sending money, also it is safe. That is like most important. You will not randomly send money to some person, right? So safe, and then there is an accountability for it, and the exchange will take care of it, and then you will be allowed to buy your crypto using that, and then you will be allowed to withdraw it or whatever you want to do. Okay, so but if the exchanges don't exist, I think it will be much more challenging, right? And now comes, why are exchanges having those restrictions of, okay, why are they doing KYC, why are they doing XYZ things? It is a part of understanding. Again, it's possible someone is sending money from someone else's bank account and that person's account was hacked or whatnot, or it is something they don't have the permission to utilize it and such. So our belief is that, so once a person has applied for the account and have done the mobile when OTP related verifications and submitted all the required KYC documents, as long as the bank account also belong to the same person, it is more likely that it's a genuine transaction. Okay, and it doesn't end there. It's possible that this transaction was genuine, but then he used that money, maybe he sold some crypto and used that money, or maybe bought some crypto and used that crypto, so to do something else which is wrong. So when that happens, and when we have to on the reverse side establish the trail, and these KYC becomes extremely important. And on the other hand, it's also important to know that there is a possibility some Unocoin account of a person gets hacked. I'm not talking about Unocoin, but a person's account, like how a bank account or Paytm thing should happen. And how do you even identify if there is any kind of transactions? So we have lots of checks and balances in place, and because of that itself, the people, if scamsters are bothered about not trying things on centralized exchanges, there is a reason, and it's there for good, right? At least they are bothered, right? Which means it's kind of already protected because of the checks and measures in place, and it has to be there. Without that, it doesn't matter. And how much of things that checks and measures are put in depends upon the government, the law of the land, the people, etc. So in some countries they just say that okay, if you have passport, it's sufficient. You don't need any other document, and that is true even if they go for to open a bank account also, it is true and whatnot. But here, yeah, there is different set of documents. You need PAN card, you need Aadhaar card, you need address proof. I mean, like they will sometimes say an officer will come up to you and verify the home, etc. So the procedures are depending upon how good or bad and how the frauds are happening in a specific country. They would have come up with the what to do and what not to do things.
I think, yeah, there's always necessity to have a system in place, and that is for people's security. I mean, and another thing, guys, so today's topic is very interesting. As you all know, these scams and stuff, this keep happening and you could become a part of it accidentally, you might not even know. So अगर आप थोड़ा सा engage करेंगे हमारे एमएस के साथ तो और भी ज्यादा मजा आएगा आज के डिस्कशन में. अभी के लिए हमारे पास मल्लिका अर्जुन का क्वेश्चन है जो कि पूछ रहे हैं, how to validate the vendor from P2P before buying or selling, which is
it's definitely very tough. Evaluating a person or an entity who is also a user on a specific platform, it can always be faked to a great extent, right? So one is maybe look at the ratings, how many trades they have done, and if there is feedback on them, that is one another thing. So one thing I have identified is when these kinds of, like, let's say on the other side you have a scammer and is trying to scam you, and on the other side there is a genuine person who want to keep everything genuine. So whenever the requests are coming, just try to divert it. And if the other person easily gets diverted, oh, okay, take care, you can set like that also, this also, it doesn't matter. We will arrange things on our side not to do. It's more likely a scam, right? So if they say that, no, these are the rules, it has to be only done like this, it's up to you, we are happy to cancel the trade. It more looks to be genuine to me. Okay, so the scamsters go to any extent while they are chatting or doing communication to make sure that you feel comfortable and you become prey, right? So they adapt to the evolving situation, and you should start feeling like, okay, look, at the end I have so much of requests, they're still taking it, they're still obeying it, and is there. If that's happening, it's extremely unlikely, because at the end of the day, we should understand everyone's profit share or profit margin will be in terms of a small marginal 1%, 2%, 3% they'll be doing. And even if you ask for 5% discount also, they'll say yes.
Yeah, I mean, that is the biggest.
But the remaining is the profit, no?
It's almost like, so here we have Crypto Trailblazers. He has a question, but there's a little case I came across very recently. I think it was last week, a friend of mine, because I know a lot of you are, big game fanatics. So he plays this game Battleground, which is like a very famous game these days. And there are some things like some assets and all that you buy in that. So this other guy, he was selling his account with all of these assets, like lakhs worth of assets, for some 10,000 rupees. He said, it's okay, you pay me 10,000, I want to leave the game, so I'm just selling my account only. This guy paid him 10,000. First, he paid some like half the amount, like some 4,000. Then he paid him another 6,000. Then he started asking him for some OTP charges. Okay, sounds itself so stupid. OTP charges 8,000 rupees. Then he realized that this is a scam. After that, he called up the bank. Both of their accounts got frozen. The whole thing got, and this account is not even located in India. And somehow it was related to a crypto transaction. That was again a peer-to-peer transaction. So even if you're not in P2P transactions, you could be involved in it.
Yeah.
And there are so many parties being affected, but I seriously doubt that the person who's creating this whole scenario where they're doing this thing, they're hardly even getting caught. Now the cyber crime is obviously making their efforts to find the
No,
things, but
it's not about getting caught. It's about think about the inconvenience.
yes, exactly.
And lot of times, not like you have 5 different bank accounts and you have kept little money in each of them. It's not. A lot of people just have one bank account. Okay, I have SBI bank account. I'm happy with it. I'm there in it since 10 years. I'm using it, and they're giving me good services. End of it. And now and on the other side, when you just just have a tender coconut, you want to pay using your UPI. And now imagine you don't even have the cash because of the trust that everyone is accepting Google Pay or Phone Pay or some like UPI based transaction anyway. And that one fine day, you just like your bank account got frozen.
Yeah.
It is like so tough. And your debit card also don't work. I mean, not like UPI, right? So the entire bank account is frozen. And all of a sudden, just imagine that kind of situation. It's like little choking.
And imagine
in
you have all
nature.
your money in that particular bank.
Yeah, then people they'll usually like when they keep money, right? So they're cutting. Sometimes they want to buy a home and whatnot and such, and having lot of money in a specific bank account, and if that gets frozen, getting it out, getting it unfrozen is even more tough.
Agreed.
Because now the question comes like, okay, one person has given the complaint, but what if there are 100 other people who have not given the complaint, and if they come next month, right? That's how come you have so much of money, and it becomes like little bit more actually much more tedious to convince someone that look, I have done everything whatever I could,
Exactly.
and again doing everything whatever you could is still not sufficient. Because if you are get into this kind of mess, you do get into this kind of mess. So I would suggest nowadays that if these kinds of 1%, 2% gains come up to you, just because, okay, you can buy crypto in one place and sell it to them and I'll keep my 1% kind of thing, it's lot of times it's not worth it. And then you need to have 100 such transactions to compensate loss of one transaction. And the amount of scams that is happening in P2P is so humongous that it's very unlikely you will get through 100 transactions without issue.
Agreed.
Even if you do 5, there could be one issue.
I mean, from the looks of it itself, it looks very complicated to start with.
Yeah, a bit like one random person, maybe in Uttar Pradesh or someone like that, in one of the remote tier 2 districts, who tried to do some kind of transaction and something went wrong, and now you have a portal where you can just go and give the complaint to cybercrime and such, or maybe they went and that particular thing will go to the same police station of where that particular issue happened. And now, with the moment you say that, look, my account got frozen, even if you call that station and such, the first thing they'll ask you is, come here, we want to inquire.
Exactly.
And now, if it is, let's say, if you have 2,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees in your bank account, we'll say that, my flight charges itself is more. Leave it for time being. We'll look at it later. Let me open another bank account. But now think if it is 3 lakh rupees is there.
Oh my God.
Okay, and if that is your only bank account, and if it is like a big part of your savings and such, and let's say you are saving it for some kind of critical whatever expenses you may have.
Situation.
Yeah, and you want to help your father, mother, or maybe your brother, or something like that. One you didn't even like. It's not so easy situation that happens.
Exactly.
And if you have to travel all the way and then facing that harassment for no reason at all is bad. So I think it has come down to a stage like, if you know a friend who is doing P2P, leave the friendship. No, I'm just telling you, even if you pay for a Pani Puri 50 rupees and if he pays you 25 back, I would say, if you are in P2P, don't pay me money in bank account. And I'll say that, okay, you give me cash next time when you meet or whatnot. I don't want my bank account to have challenges because of whatever you could have done. This is possible between, like, there's a peer-to-peer making person and then a friend. But how will their friend know? Not possible. How will some random person know?
Yes.
Not possible. And the peer-to-peer transaction making person may just go and pay some 6,000, 10,000 rupees on Amazon. Right, and it is going through a payment gateway. Now payment gateway is in trouble. It has come
Exactly.
through
That's
you.
what I was
And now comes, okay, at the end, if it is 3,000, 5,000, you may just say that, okay, do one thing, return back the money. Chalo, I'll lose that money, return it back, unfreeze my account, let us forget that it happened. It is just, I learned the lesson. Okay. And what if it is more?
Exactly.
And that too, at that point of time, if the officer who were investigating suspects that you might have done more of these kinds of things.
Exactly.
Because why? Because you have a lot of money in your account. Again, and let's say you're using your savings bank account to do tens of transactions a day, incoming or outgoing. Generally, what was that savings bank account should look like? Okay, there is 2 or 3 or maybe 5 times of incoming money for whatever things you've done, maybe your salaries and whatever other allowances you could have got and such things. So outgoing is your like rent and whatever different expenses. Okay, so there is on an average there is a specific pattern for any kind of savings account on an average. Okay, but this savings account doesn't look like that. It keeps coming, 50,000 came, next time 25 lakhs also come. It keeps going, rotating. It looks like, okay, this person is trying to do scam. And now at least maybe say some officers understand what is crypto, forget about P2P. Okay, so a few years ago, it's even more tougher. And now it has only gone worst when it comes to scams. These kind of scams. There are websites which gets opened and all they advertise is invest money, send money. There will be like 30%. The moment you put the money, they'll show 30% more money. 10,000 rupees is tier 1. Okay, it will be shown as 13,000 rupees. Next is 40,000 rupees. Then they'll show it as 52,000. And next is around 1.5 lakhs or whatever. And they'll show it as about 2 lakhs and what. But till you reach the tier 3, your withdraw button won't get enabled. Okay, now you have a lot of money. Now what? When you withdraw, money don't come. I mean, like, people should have bloody common sense. Okay, they go and they fight for 1 rupee, 5 rupees, 10 rupees with sabji wala.
Exactly.
Okay, and online because someone is trying to say 30% gain you get, who will give that gain? Who is growing that kind of money on the trees? There is no such thing. Even if he actually give you once, his aim is to scam you second time bigger. If he gives you second time, third time is even more bigger, and that's all it is. There is no such thing. It is the paying you 30% extra for first time is their investment to recover 10 times more money. Who are you for them?
Exactly, nobody. Like just one shikar.
So some random one. A lot of times now they are using these kinds of voice morphing tools. They do a call on WhatsApp. And they'll try to establish that communication, keep that kind of online relationship for extended period of time, and then they ask for gifts and whatnot.
And that could be in the name of job as well,
See, anything.
People are getting these days so many messages on WhatsApp like, okay, we have got this company, we're going to offer you this job, this is what is to be done, and they'll ask you for some pre-joining payment. Now understand this, if you are doing a job that is to earn money in the first place,
Why should you say
money? The
money
company is asking you money before you even start working for them. That is a clear sign of scam, but people still do it and people still get scammed. So that is something that we have to level up with, in terms of our own understanding when it comes to scam. So guys, with this, we are going to take a little hold on our discussion. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. We are going to answer all your questions that are there in the comment section. स्कैम या फिर P2P स्कैम्स के बारे में, जो कि काफी इंटरेस्टिंग चल रहा है, जैसा कि हम देख रहे हैं और हम जानने और समझने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि किन किन तरीकों से आप स्कैम हो सकते हैं, चाहे आप इन्वॉल्व हो P2P ट्रेडिंग में या फिर ना भी हो, या फिर आप स्कैम का भी पार्ट ना हो, तब भी आप स्कैम हो सकते हैं। तो our subject matter expert here for today is Sathvik, as I've already introduced him at the beginning of this session, and it was going great, our discussion for today. Now, Sathvik, let's just go ahead and take some questions from our audience. Malika Arjun is saying, Madam, you didn't take my question. Malika Arjun, actually, we've already answered your question. So, what you can do is, after this session is over, you can go and watch the recording for today. उसमें आपको आपके question का answer मिल जाएगा. Second question comes here from Crypto Trailblazers. He's asking, what to do the first thing when the bank account is frozen? Contact police or talk to vendor or an exchange?
No, talking to vendor is useless. Talking to exchange is also useless. And I'm saying this depending, like based on my experience with when people complain on what they did, what worked, what did not work. So you obviously have to go to the police station itself. And in all likelihood, this would have happened from a not like your headquarters of politicians or anything like that. It could be like in different areas you have different police stations, right? So one of those normal police stations would have given instructions, and all of those stations have the power to freeze the bank accounts of individuals if they identify any kind of scams have happened using that particular bank account. Okay, so the first thing you should do is ask the bank where, like what kind of notice have come back and which police station it has come from, and try to contact them over phone. Okay, and explain that this is a situation and you wanted to see like how it can be resolved, and if it is far place, try to see if you can just talk through and give the KYC details of the receiver and vendor or whoever it is where the transactions issue has happened, and see if it can be negotiated with them to say that okay, done, everything is done, whatever I have to give, all documents is given. If this goes good, maybe, and the chances of that is maybe 5 or 10%, and that too could happen if it is like 3K 5K kind of issues that people are facing, kind of thing. But if it is more than that, they usually call you for the inquiry. Okay, and don't bother to figure out a way. I know this person, I know that person, I'll influence them. It doesn't work. It hasn't really worked. And going to some other police station near your home definitely doesn't work, because they have no clue what it is. And even if they write the letter that this bank account should be unfrozen, it will not happen. It is like
it has to come from the source.
Same one. It is like you purchase a Samsung TV, you cannot go to LG and ask for the repair or warranty. It's kind of thing. So it doesn't work. Okay, so it has to come from the same set of people. It could be little lengthy process. It's unavoidable, right? So if you get into this, be cautious, vigilant. We will have to talk to people from where the complaint has come out. Come and go meet them and get this sorted out. Talking to your bank also will not really help. At the end, after all so much of communication that you can do with the bank, they'll come back with saying that okay, it has come from a particular police department. Only they can give the full clarity, because all that we have is one letter asking us to freeze, which we have done because we are required to do, because it is their obligation to do, and that's all they would know. They will not know because of whom it happened, how much money was in the question. So those things the banks also will not know. And some officers will usually say that okay, fine, these things are happening, I will only lien X amount, like X amount, right? So let's say a transaction of 5,000 has gone wrong, then they'll only create a lien for 5,000 till the investigation and everything is over. That usually sometimes is okay. Like let them figure it out. If nothing is there, they will only unblock it. Remove the lien. Where that 5,000 rupees will be unusable. You cannot send it to anyone. It will be stuck there, locked there. So wherever this is not happening, if it is a full account block, that's an issue. So one thing you can also do is ask them, look, if it is an issue of a specific transaction, only block so much of money, and I need it for my daily things. I'll come and meet you in next week or whatever, and try to see if it can be convinced out. But yeah, without getting the letter from the same police station, it's not going
it's
to
too
happen.
impossible.
It's not going to happen.
And I think
At least in the past, it has not happened.
I think on that note, there's one more thing that everybody has to keep in mind, with Aadhaar and all. This happens very often, some friend of yours would be asking for your Aadhaar picture. I just want to see how you look in your Aadhaar. I've seen this happen so many times, and that Aadhaar would be misused. Imagine there's a peer-to-peer scam and that person is asking for your, KYC details just in order to be sure. And then that person happens to send your Aadhaar and everything. Your account gets frozen because of that. So that is another thing. You don't have to share your Aadhaar or anything with any individual, like
It is not random individual, at
not
least, who is just
random
asking.
and individual,
I mean, the extent to which people communicate, especially on Telegram. I mean, WhatsApp is completely lesser because there is like a phone number there, and how they get scammed, like humongous. Yes, I mean, for my Telegram only, I get maybe what 3 to 5 a week, 3 to 5 a week.
scam messages.
Yeah,
Twitter
so
DM as well.
Twitter DM usually is less, but again, it is like this, right? So if the grass is over in Telegram, they'll go Twitter. If that is over, they'll go to Facebook. Then they'll come to WhatsApp. Then they'll come, and there is always a method. And they'll go to even Tinder and whatnot. So wherever it's available, they just go. It's their job is to scam.
What
Kind of
happens,
thing.
like you mentioned Tinder and everything, over there as well it happens because people want to know the real identity of the person. They'll just be like, oh, can you just send me your Aadhaar or something like that, and then they also misuse your Aadhaar for different things.
No,
So
that
the
see that
hackers
is
over there
that is okay. I mean, doing a scam and making you get stuck in it. So your money is not at risk at that first instance yet,
Yeah,
till
if it gets
something goes
frozen,
wrong.
then of
But
course.
there are, I have heard that the kind of stories I've heard, I wonder why are these people not working as creative heads in MNCs? Okay, so like there is one scam I remember. So it's between one guy and a girl. Okay, the girl is a software engineer. She's like a project manager kind of in an MNC and such. So it establishes a communication online, and they see each other. The relationship happens for some time and whatnot. And one fine day, I mean, the guy portrays himself not to be from India. He's an Indian, but not in India, from some other location like UK and such. So he will finally decide that he'll come and meet the girl. Okay, and he will buy a lot of gifts there, like expensive ones, including some jewels and whatnot. And he will show all of that in the video call. And she's so happy. Okay, that guy is coming, and these things are happening and such. And he will also send the flight tickets, the copies of flight tickets and such, that this is the flight I'm coming, etc. And this girl happily goes and stands at the airport. So hoping that, okay, well, I'm welcoming this particular guy. Okay, so after flight lands, after 15 minutes or like after 1 hour or so, there is a call that comes up just saying that, look, the customs have caught me because of these things, but they're asking for some kind of bribe. I don't know how it works in your country, because in my country, all these things are like, I can just take and go, like no one asks me. But this particular, these people are asking about X amount of money to be paid to where it should be paid to the customs department, and he's asking for X amount of bribe also. And she said, okay, no problem. Anyway, the jewels are coming out, your gifts are coming out, all of those were coming out. He said that, no problem, send the details. And he will also say that, look, you help me with this money, because else I cannot come out here. I don't have, I mean, I did not bring cash and such. I cannot pay you. So you help me with this money and I'll pay you. So what is there for the girl to lose?
Yeah, she'll be like, oh, okay, fine, I'll just help
So
you.
that first of all, guy is coming, and then you have jewels coming, then you have gifts coming, then you have chocolates coming, all of it. She did the payments. Okay, for 2 different bank accounts and whatnot. She sent that GPay and such. I said, okay, fine, thank you. Yeah, everything is over. I'm coming out in a little bit, and that's it. That guy never traveled.
I mean, it's hard.
And there was nothing. So just imagine, they might have used it 2 months, 3 months of his time to make this work. And now imagine the dedication they have, and then depending upon the dedication, they have the expectation. The more long you do, if they are still going through that, if you are, I mean, even if you are going through that, you'll understand that you'll eventually lose more. Okay, so sometimes there is another thing I have done. When a scam message comes, I reply. At least to know what is happening.
Yeah, for fun, you try to
Okay.
get
And it becomes scary in next like 10-15 minutes, and I stop replying. I mean, I don't know what to reply. And now I start thinking, how would a common man without having this kind of knowledge will face it?
Exactly, they will get scammed.
Okay, and they do get scammed. They will lose money. They will still not tell anyone. They'll keep quiet. And this keeping quiet is another bigger issue.
That is the
Let's
biggest
say if I get
issue.
scammed, I should at least tell that, look, I tried doing this, I got scammed, at least be careful. At least I can tell it to people in my own home.
Exactly.
Maybe the spouse and maybe your parents and your close friends or who think that, okay, see, look, actually Sathvik said even he got scammed, then anyone can get scammed. I will also get scammed. If people who have some knowledge are also having that thing, it's tough. And forget about me, like XYZ. Okay, if this person gets scammed, others can also get scammed. Be cautious, not to fall. But the thing is, people don't tell. People don't tell. They'll hide saying that, okay, what will people judge me as?
Exactly.
Okay,
People will judge me.
and then a lot of times there is some images and photos, communication, exchange, all of that happened. Now we'll start thinking that, okay, if I tell that, these kinds of photos has come and communication have happened, it has happened since 2 months, people will start questioning, you did not even understand what is there in your mind, brain.
Obviously, I mean, anyone
That's the
would
thing.
react in a way like, did you not have enough sense to...
Yeah, you are brainless.
Yeah.
Like, people will declare that they're brainless.
Exactly, but that's
Okay.
not the case. Everybody at some point of time has gotten scammed, and it can happen.
See, I wouldn't say everyone would have got scammed, but I would say that everyone would have got targeted.
Targeted.
Yeah, 100% targeted. Okay, multiple times easily. They get an email saying that some random person in UK have passed away and they have written your name in the will, and it is worth about what some three. And sometimes I'll slowly count how many zeros are there. Okay, so and is there? Let me know if we can. I have the attorney of this particular person. Let me know if I can initiate I can take this up and help you get this particular money. You only need to pay 2% of the fees or 1% of the fees. Then there are some people who will request, please reduce the fees.
Reduce the fees, sure, of course. Okay, so Sathvik, let's take some more questions that are there in our comment section. Mr. Kiran Murpani here is asking, maybe send advocate to handle all these hurdles in the police station. I think even if you send your advocate, there is a major amount of personal effort that will also be involved.
A random advocate, a normal advocate, it's tough for them to understand the entire issue. That's like one thing, right? But an advocate can help you at least with procedures and such. Maybe in another 2 years, 3 years, if these kinds of scams don't come down, then there will be a huge business opportunity to be an advocate and help with these kinds of transactions.
Yeah, I think that's
It will be big. It's huge because the amount of bank accounts which it won't get unfrozen automatically. It's like you're talking about sometimes it would take months. Okay, and if it continues, then there is always a scope for some advocate to make good money out of this. And these, banks getting frozen. Maybe now it is few lakhs of crores is frozen. In this way, it could be few tens of lakhs of crores also in some time in the future. It's like a lot of money could be frozen like this.
Yeah, and even if you involve an advocate, I think at one point you will have to involve an advocate if it gets too complicated. But again, it's gonna cost you a hell lot of money, because it is a very problematic thing. And this whole peer-to-peer system being very new to the system, it is creating a buzz around, and people are getting excited and people are getting scammed. That is another major thing. So you always have to be very cautious. Another question we have is from Anup Sharma. He's saying, hi sir, ma'am. Anup Sharma this side. My question is that I have no net banking, how to deposit to Unocoin because UPI is not accepted.
So then they could go to the bank with a check leaf and you can do an RTGS transfer or NEFT transfer directly.
Yeah, so you will find the bank details in the app itself where you
Yeah.
have the option to add money to your wallet. There itself you can find the details and then you can
Yeah. So once you do that, the bank people will give the UTR reference
yes.
number. So carefully key in that UTR reference number on the Unocoin app, so we will know it's your payment, and you should get the credits. Yeah, and you should be able to credits. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Uh, we have few minutes left, so let's take. Okay. Okay. So NPC has a very good question here, Satvik. He's asking, will exchanges come forward and stop P2P trading to safeguard users from getting scammed?
It is first of all peer to peer. That makes it too tough, right? If you actually like figure out some way of requesting some exchanges not to do, which international exchanges sometimes allows to be done, like we had something called local bitcoins, then Paxful, and many other well-known exchanges today as will still do that. There will be more of them. It's not possible to completely stop peer-to-peer trades by just stopping those kinds of platforms. It's like anyone can create one. So it's tough. We can only educate people to some extent. However, through now that there are a lot of kind of regulations, the regulatory bodies whom we keep interacting with, we do bring up this particular topic that these kinds of issues are happening. And when they ask for, okay, they want the proof, they want the examples and such, we have sent that as well. Maybe about a dozen of such kinds of issues that people have faced. Forget about anyone. A couple of my employees only have faced this kind of issue where they took the money and from some kind of peer to peer without unknowingly and such. And in the few months before, let's say, then the bank account was frozen. They had to actually fight it back and lose a little bit of money and give back that particular money and then get the remaining money out to make it work and such. It is tough, but we'll do our efforts, surely. Yeah.
Absolutely, and this AMA is a part of those efforts. We are coming out here
So
trying
it's people should use common sense and educate themselves. If something is too good to be true,
It's not
don't
true.
believe it. Stop believing and stop being in heaven or cloud nine and such. If something is happening, then uh, too many things are wrong. It is just, it will be a day where we will repent, kind of thing.
I think it's very simple how there are these comparative price. There are these sites that have comparative price of different sites where from where you can book the flights. So say for one site will show some 5,000, one will show 5,200, the other will show 5,600. There will be one site you'll see the rating itself will be like some below 2 stars.
2 stars, yeah, sure.
Under that, they'll be showing the same flight in some, say, 3,000 rupees. What are you going to do? You're going to hop onto that, you're going to click it. And then you pay for it. But then you get scammed. You don't get
your tickets. Yeah, sure.
So that
See,
is,
I think we should also, when I'm talking about the, trust your instincts and such, when someone asks you money, right, and when you need to pay it in cash, we actually think more. That's like human.
yes.
But when they ask, give me the online transfer, and they're sitting somewhere, when we do a transfer on mobile app, the ability that your mind can think is less. You just want to just do it and be done. It is very similar to say, you are shopping. If you have credit card, you actually shop more. And when you are actually taking money from your pocket, giving it to them, you actually think, okay, no, I'm giving something, right? So this is so digital in nature. You will feel like, what did I pay anyway? I mean, you actually paid money, that's fine, but you did not lose physically anything, right? So you will not feel it. Okay. So one of the suggestions is, if possible, have two different bank accounts. For one bank account, enable your UPI and such, and keep only the money that is relevant, whatever you need on day-to-day basis, and you keep the remaining money elsewhere. Let's say you still cannot do it for whatever reason, just go to the bank, all the extra money create as fixed deposits. Okay, so if let's say you have about 45,000 to 50,000 rupees in your bank, if someone is asking 2 lakhs, before you go to the bank, remove the fixed deposit, get that money back to your bank account, your mind will automatically start thinking, Am I doing it right? Okay. But let's say now you already have 5 lakh rupees in your bank account. Oh, okay, fine, done. And the time that takes for, I mean, if you are not in your complete, active mindset, the time when someone asks you money to the time like where you have given it, the gap could be like 30 seconds.
Exactly.
Okay, and now moreover they can even request through UPI. So now you don't even need to type, you don't even need to know who it is. The request will be standing there automatically saying that someone is requesting you. Then you just put approve, then it is done. So it is the more and more easy you do for transacting or sending money, these kinds type of scams will only try to increase also. If you are doing transactions online, don't keep lot of money in your active bank account. I mean, that is one rule I follow myself. Not that someone will ask me money, but it's also possible that my bank account gets hacked. Then what?
Exactly.
I did not do anything. I did nothing was done at all. If it gets scammed, then you first go to the bank. You will give a complaint. Then they'll say that okay, we provide the bank account, but if something like this happens, you have to go to the cybercrime and give the complaint there also. You will go there, give the complaint. They'll say that the follow-up timing is on Thursdays between 4 to 5. You follow up for some time, but eventually, where is your money? You lost the money now.
Exactly.
And even if you get back after maybe a year, like part of it, and for that hundreds of accounts has to get frozen, and we don't even know where it is. A lot of times this is something called mule accounts, where some random person's KYC use it to create the bank accounts, right? Not every bank account will go through the complete transaction like KYC procedures. Like they will also have different restrictions saying that okay, it is 50,000 rupees is all that comes every month and goes. They will not be super bothered. But the moment it says okay, 5 lakhs has come this month, they will come to your home and ask like why, which money is this? You sold some land or what? Or what is it? Do you want to invest this in fixed deposits or mutual funds or whatnot, right? So because of they have their own restrictions and rules regulations, these kinds of dual accounts, and when the transactions happen, all the money comes into one and it will be distributed to 20 different accounts and it will be withdrawn through ATM cards and such, and it's gone. Okay, and so the trial ends. Okay, and some people now where the trial ends also is these kinds of crypto to crypto. So they'll come up to the money will come up to the peer-to-peer crypto trading. Send that particular money to one random person and take the crypto, go away. So that person thinks that I got my money and I gave out my crypto. But when the issue happens, he will get locked up. So I would never recommend, with these kinds of issues, it hasn't been worth in any way for people to do these kinds of crypto to peer-to-peer trades. It's too tough. It's becoming ugly day by day. Accounts are getting frozen. People are losing money. People's bank accounts are getting frozen. It's
I think the bottom line.
bad idea.
The bottom line here is, if you have exchanges like Unocoin at your disposal, why do you have to take that much effort, that much energy, that much, risk to do a transaction? You could usually use a exchange like Unocoin to have your transactions done and, to trade and to do whatever you want with crypto. At least there's an entity standing over here that is, having the at least the control over here what's going on. They will have the link to your KYC accounts, to the person who's getting the money. Everything is in place. So this is a way more secure option than any P2P trading that exists today. So I think Anup Sharma has this thing. I'm very upset for deposit in Unocoin. I know there are so many options, but I don't want to do that. Sir, I request you that please make the UPI facility available on Unocoin.
See, we are a tech company ourselves as well. If there is a method for us to do it, we would have done it long ago. So NPCI, which is an organization behind UPI, has suggested that for crypto transactions, they don't want people to use UPI. So some exchanges still have enabled it with some kind of jugaad ways again. So I don't want to comment, but from our side, whatever we do is only if it is like straightforward. We do it and we give the options. We are happy to give, if there are 100 options, all 100 options to our customers. And why would I say that? Okay, and if people are actually taking extra efforts to do it, it is just because it's crypto. That is like one side, and we have our own restrictions as well. It's not that we intentionally say that okay, don't do that. No, it's not so.
So, Anup, I sincerely request you, अगर आपको कोई भी मनी ट्रांसफर करना है, आपको अगर क्रिप्टो खरीदने है उनोकॉइन के प्लेटफॉर्म पर, सबसे बेस्ट आपको जो तरीका है वो सात्विक ने ऑलरेडी बता दिया है, दैट इज कि आप किसी बैंक, आप अपने बैंक के पास चले जाइए, वहां पे आप एक चेक के थ्रू आरटीजीएस ट्रांसफर कर दीजिए, एंड देन आप वो एक जो नंबर आपको जो देंगे वो रेफरेंस नंबर, वो आपको ऐड करना है अपने उनोकॉइन के अकाउंट में आकर के. सो आपका जो पूरा चीज है वो बहुत आराम से हो जाएगा विदाउट द नीड कि आप जो कह रहे हैं आपके पास नेट बैंकिंग नहीं है. सो देयर इज ऑलवेज एन इजी वे, यू हैव टू ट्राई इट आउट. एज एज इट गोज, जब गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से यूपीआई के लिए रेस्ट्रिक्शंस ईज हो जाएंगे, देन विल बी हैप्पी टू ऐड इट फॉर यू गाइस.
We had it in the past. Very recently, we had to remove it. We have to disable it. We have written the letters saying that like why only UPI is being restricted. It's fine because we are doing XYZ things already. We also act like banks, reporting entities, but for various reasons why we are better. If they say that's fine, you do it, then we do.
Exactly. So on this note, guys, we'll be ending our EMA for today. Thank you so much for being so interactive, for all your questions, for being here for the AMA. I hope आप लोग को बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला होगा आज के हमारे इस AMA से. Thank you so much, Sathvik, for being here and enlightening us with all of this, knowledge on how to prevent ourselves from these scams.
Yeah, so not only peer-to-peer scams or peer-to-peer crypto scams are just crypto scams. I just wish people don't get scammed in general.
Exactly.
That's like if you are getting scammed, people cannot help you. No one can help you. It's too tough. The people who have lot of knowledge and being techies, or it could be business people, are getting scammed. And at the end, sometimes I wonder, how come you got scammed? Like when the people say that, and they say, no, I know the MLA of this area. And I'm like, what will the MLA do? Okay, so don't think that you are powerful. Don't think that you are influential. Have the common sense, and then everything will come to your rescue. Else, it's tough. Well, if you are online, if your account is online, you are targeted. Every bullet you have to dodge.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah,
guys, be very careful, be very cautious, keep following Unocoin and stay tuned. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you.